right after I press that button, that's always when I'm like, I sure hope I didn't forget anything.
Did you push it?
Yep, we are live.
How do I look at the live chat?
It takes a few moments to get everything going here, but I like to get everyone up close and personal. What's up, everybody? How's it going? Welcome back to another evening with Eskel. We have Amanda with us again. I'm excited. I want to do a little bit of a continuation off of last week, so this is going to be perfect.
Is it live?
Let me just get you pulled up.
You put ads on it.
Mine's just set up to be... everything just does what it needs to. That's how I like it. Okay. It's nice.
Abigail's the first one to comment.
Ooh.
Hi,
Oh, yeah. Abigail was on... See?
You shouldn't do that.
That's true. That's true.
You should at least let the newcomers not have to have an ad.
That's a good
point. The ones that are on it, and then you can put ads afterwards. That's what I do.
Heck yeah. Abigail, thanks for being the first one to comment. Heck yeah. We got Abigail, Irina, Flinker, Popcorn Golden, Kyle Grant, Todd. Thank you guys for joining us for another live. Denise, thank you so much for the donation. So quick. You guys are on point. I am late today, so I wanted to be... I basically am 1 hour late. Usually I'd be at 5, and it's already 6.
I know. I was
Time
like,
goes by so fast.
Are you sure you want to take that potty break?
I was trying to make sure I had everything
chair?
ready.
Is that what this is for? He's had this on his chair for 2 years now.
I just haven't messed with it, I guess. I don't know. Does it bother you? I can rip it off.
Well, I'm just wondering if you're trying to refund.
No, I like this gaming chair. I've had it for quite a while. It was actually a gift to me from Levi, but yeah, it's nice.
Hi, Virginia. She's ahead of both of us. Hey, you're 5 in Las Vegas. Oh.
That's true, yeah. If we're going off of Vegas time, then I am right on time, so that's perfect. Hey, guys, not sure if you remember me, Caden Butler. What? I remember Caden Butler. You remember him? He was our neighbor, lived down the street from us. What's up, Caden? I see all your posts on Instagram. I hope you're still with that girl you're posting with all the time. But
it's
it
like
looks
my
fun.
Sister.
What? No, he posts a lot of lovey-dovey pictures with the girl. And I'm pretty sure he's dating.
I remember going on the bus with him.
With his...
I remember.
Well, you went with his older brother, though, Mason.
Oh.
This is Caden, Mason's little brother.
Okay.
But glad you popped in to say hi, Caden. It's always good to see a familiar face. I wonder who he was the closest with in our family. But I remember him and his family, though. It was fun hanging out with them.
That's cool.
Nice. Oh, another donation. Thank you, Stephanie Singer. She sent a lemon emoji. Appreciate that. We got Val here as well. Welcome, Val. Emily, thanks for joining
We're coming out with a video with Val, actually, pretty soon.
Oh.
If you're on my Patreon, it's already available to watch.
Nice.
Right now.
That's awesome. Sweet. Yeah, well, I hope you guys are excited as I am. Last time Amanda was on my channel, we got to really deep dive into what we considered reality was and like shared some of our ideas on just kind of how we decipher through it all. And so this week, I want to dive off of that and talk a little bit more about perspectives. Because I think you can't have a good hold on what reality is unless you're able to take a look at different perspectives and be able to see from all viewpoints, and especially like take a step back and kind of try to see the full picture for sure. So maybe I could just start off with asking you a few questions to get your ideas on it.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you interviewing me?
No. Do you know Abigail interviewed me on my last live, though? It was kind of cool. I basically was like, I was going to do very similar and just kind of like come up with the questions and discuss them with her. But she was like, will you let me just take control of your live this one time? And I just want to interview you. And I was like, you betcha. Go ahead. Let's do it. Let's see how it goes. And so literally she was just kind of like took control of the whole live. And she had tons of great questions. It was really fun, actually. I enjoyed it a lot.
That sounds fun. I'll have to watch that one. Yeah, sometimes I just get so like YouTubed out that I can't. Like people will send me stuff and I'll just be like, that's nice.
Well, funny thing is you missed most of the live, I think, the YouTube live, but then you saw all of the Patreon live. We went live on Patreon right afterwards, and then you were there for like the whole thing.
That was the juiciest gossip, though.
Yeah,
the Patreons
that one was
are
extreme.
Good.
It was very interesting.
You guys gotta join. You always have your Patreon in the link in the.
Yeah, it's and this time I'm going from my computer, so the link's already there. It's all set up. It's working out pretty good. I don't have to worry about it when I use my computer to go live because it automatically puts it all in there. So that's nice. It was awesome being able to see Abigail though. I think Abigail's here in the comments. So thanks for joining us, Abigail.
We actually said hi to her today.
Fun. Oh yeah, she came to Utah and visited for a bit, so that was awesome. Why is someone saying hi, Verl? What?
Hi, Val.
Oh, maybe they meant to say hi, Val, huh?
Are you getting triggered?
No, look, it says Verl, though. Why does it say that?
Todd, who are you talking to?
Maybe he's talking to Val. I'm sure. I don't see anyone that would be Verl in the chat. But anyways. Stephanie Seeger said, I'm fighting a head cold or something, so I sound like I'm underwater or something, but I'm here. Well, I'm glad you could make it.
Yeah, we could hear it in your voice. I'm sick too. I was telling Eskel, I had allergies like a week or two ago, and they just never went away, so I don't think it's allergies anymore.
Dang.
But I don't know. I think everyone's getting sick. I don't know if it's...
Well, Utah specifically, we've just hit our like 5th winter, I swear, because it was just about looking like...
That? What does that
mean? Because it almost looked like spring, like... The weather was all sunny, all the snow was gone. We thought we were past the winter, and then bam, we had a big old snowstorm this morning. So it's like, they call it the 5th one because this is like the 5th time that's happened, where all the snow's been gone, the weather was looking great, the temperature was nice, and then poof, we get right back into the dead of winter. So
that's what it means. So it's happened 5 times.
I guess.
That's the 5th winter.
Something like that, yeah. But, so if you're in Utah, you know what I'm talking about, but it's been
Todd
annoying.
Says, Verl supposedly watches these lives, so I'm outing him.
Oh, I get it.
Do you ever look at your Instagram, like, who's viewing the story?
No.
And do you ever see, you don't?
Well, I've seen that a few times, but, so you can tell every single person that's watched, like, your story and stuff?
And Dad's on there.
Oh, he's watching closely.
And there's a lot of order people, I shouldn't say a lot, there's a handful of order people that will not follow me, but they watch my story, like, religiously. Mm-hmm. Like, they probably think about me more than they think about their own prophet. Their own leader.
That would be kind of hard. They're really forcing him down then. All the order members have a picture of the prophet on their wall, don't they? Do you think they got a picture of you on the wall?
They don't call it a prophet, though. I think we call it prophet because we know that's how outsiders would perceive it, but we, in the order, was always the leader, Paul.
Yeah, the man on the watchtower. But, like, we knew he was a prophet. We just never called him, like, the prophet. He was always the man on the watchtower, or the leader, or brother Paul, right?
Yeah,
Is that what you're talking
but
about?
yeah, most homes do have a picture of him on the wall.
It's super weird thinking about the terminology, though, because having that interview with Calvin is when I realized it the most. Where I would say the order, and he'd be like, what the freak are you talking about? The order is only used amongst the members of the group, where everyone out here would only know it as either a Kingston polygamist group or just another fundamentalist group, another polygamy group.
But the order means different things in these different cults, though.
Mm-hmm,
like how there's the United Order or whatever.
Yeah.
It's so interesting to think how you're saying how there's a picture of Paul in everyone's house. Can you imagine, like, how much of a narcissist you'd have to be like, everybody should have a picture of me in their house?
Mm-hmm,
like, if your picture was on everybody's wall. Take a step further. I've told this story before, but my dad, for it was my birthday or Christmas, I got a wrapped present, and I opened it, it was just a picture of him.
Him in his suit and everything?
I'm like, thanks. Why do you want me to put it above my bed?
It is interesting, though, because once you become a numbered man, they all have their numbered man portrait of themselves.
Yeah. Where do they go? Advanced copy. They're like, this is it.
Dressed all nice for their photo.
Ready for the picture that's going to be put up in the Enzyme Learning Center.
Yeah, and they use it for all of their photos. It's kind of interesting.
Oh, that's true. And then they give it to their kids as gifts next to a Bible. It's like, it's such a narcissist.
Oh, that's who he was closest to, though. Interesting.
Sorry, I got caught up with
Yeah, because I think he's about their age. That's why.
I swear I have a faint memory of you. Because I only went to public school for a certain amount of time.
I'm pretty sure it's his older brother, though, right?
But no, he didn't go to my classes, but we rode on the bus. And I know where he lived.
Okay.
And I swear I have a faint memory, because I only went to public school for like 2 years. But I swear it was him that he would just like go underneath all of the
bus seats?
The bus seats, and you'd see him go underneath your seat.
Down.
And you'd be like, what is this kid doing? I swear it was him.
Nice. It could have been him or his brother, though, because I know you were around his brother a lot more. I even was around his older brother a lot more, but I would be around Caden every once in a while. Just when, like,
I don't have a lot of memories of, because dad pulled me out of school there because I went on a date with the Mormon boy. Did you know that?
Oh, yeah.
I got pulled out.
Oh, he says that was me.
Okay. I knew it.
My brother wouldn't have done that. Okay, so I guess it was, so you did ride the bus with him. I thought the age gap would have been too big for you guys to be on the same bus, but I guess not.
The bus picked us all up, and it
That's
took us
true.
to our neighborhoods, and he lived in our neighborhood.
True.
So.
Yeah. That's pretty funny. Nice. Remember to like the video coming in. Show Eskel and Madison love. Thanks, Denise.
Todd says, sorry, but I'm not putting a picture of either of you on my wall. Feels creepy on so many levels. You know what's, and that, to take it a step further, can you imagine being someone who tattoos a celebrity's face on their body? That's even crazier. But there are some order members who I feel like would totally tattoo Paul on their face.
But tattoos are against the rules.
Yeah,
though,
but
so
if Paul came out with a rule that was going to be a thing, there'd be a lot of them that would do it.
Really?
For sure.
Maybe. I just can't picture order members doing tattoos, but I guess if it was no longer bad, maybe. I suppose. Well, they put his face just about everywhere else, I guess.
Yeah, I might as well. Like, it's almost like, why do you keep a picture? Because you're going to forget what he looks like? Like, you're not going to forget.
Just the constant reminder, I guess. I don't know. That is weird. But a lot of the tactics they use are just that type of, like, constant reminder and, like, make sure you're
we were talking today about how weird it is how in all these different, like, how is it that there's so many different cults all around the world who end up in the same corruption? It's like, we're trying to pinpoint, is it because anyone with a certain amount of power, it's too much power, it goes to their head, it's always gonna ruin them? But then he was like, well, I think it's monkey see, monkey do, like someone
I also said, I brought up Taylor Swift, though. I was like, I think Taylor Swift is a good example. I like her, even though she's famous. I don't think, well, but it could go both sides.
Let's do a poll. Is Taylor Swift a good example of someone who didn't let the fame go to their head?
I don't know,
Type 1 in the chat for yes.
No, I don't know. I'm not even a huge Taylor Swift fan. I just know I've been seeing lots of posts.
Like you are.
Well, lately she had a big concert, so I've been seeing lots of posts about it, and I'm like, how in the world can she be so dang famous? It's just crazy. But I don't know. A lot of her interviews, she still just seems fairly normal. I don't know. But, like, I don't know Taylor Swift. I've never given her a high five or anything. Like, I've never met her.
That's the thing. It's hard to speak on her behalf when we have never met her personally.
Mm-hmm. But my whole point, though, was that hopefully, I like to believe there's some people out there that don't let it go too much to their head, you know? Or, like, that can still be somewhat famous, but, like, in a good way and be positive.
Like Kanye
influences.
West.
Like Kanye West.
No, I think it's just, like, I think it comes down to if it's really easy to become like Paul, to become a narcissist when you're put on the pedestal and everyone's like, you're so great, you're so great, you're so great. So you have to be constantly bringing yourself back down to human level, because that's not natural. That's not natural for everyone to just be putting you on this pedestal all the time. Mm-hmm. That's not healthy.
Yeah, that's true.
Because in reality, we're all human and we all make mistakes. And the second you're on that pedestal thinking you're better than other people, but it's not even just people in power that do that. People in, like, if they're in a religion, they feel like they're in this club, they're better than the rest of it. Like, it's almost like, is it human nature to want to feel like you're better than other people? Or is it like an animalistic thing we got to make sure we're not doing?
I think there's something about inclusion. Everyone wants to be a part of something. Mm-hmm. And I think that's human nature.
And that's why
there's so many cliques, so many groups, so many things you can join. There's a lot out there for sure. But not all of them have to be bad, though. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because like, you can have a sports group where you guys get together, or like a gym group where you all get together and work out. But that's
the reason why those ones, I think, never have issues. Well, they probably do have drama or whatever. But whenever there's one person that has the majority of the power, like, show any example of any group where one person was in power and it didn't become corrupt.
If any of it's like a pyramid scheme, for sure,
yeah, it's
then
always
that's gonna have issues,
ends up
sure.
in. And that's the thing is, I would never want.
So.
What?
I was gonna say, but even the American government is a pyramid scheme, but that's not a good example.
Exactly. But even still, wasn't there? I don't know anything about it.
Well, but the thing is,
They
the
have a
American system's
legislature.
supposed to be where the people can vote, and so it's not like president says it has to go. It's supposed to be if the people voted and wanted something to happen. If the majority of people voted, that's supposed to happen. The president can't just veto everybody, you know. But I don't know if that's really how it's working all the time. I think the idea behind it is supposed to be somewhat good, but it sure looks shady to me. Abigail's asking about the prices. Can she explain why they're so expensive? Yeah, Taylor Swift tickets are extremely expensive.
Yeah, she's
it's
rude.
Crazy.
She only wants rich people to go to her concert. Yeah, see, she's yeah.
Good point, Abigail. Good point.
Because Eskel was saying it was like $30,000 for some of the tickets.
Yeah, those front row seats. Well, I just saw a post about it, how they got all the way up to $30,000 to get the front row seats at her concert. It's like, what? That is crazy.
Was Taylor Swift born in a middle class or high class?
Yeah, I looked up her net worth though. Guess what it is?
What? How
What
do
would
you
you
know
think?
that someone's net? What? How can you pinpoint someone's net worth?
I don't know, but Google found it. No, but what do you think? I don't think Google's 100% accurate, but I bet they got a good ballpark.
She got
What would you
famous
guess?
around in her teen years, right? And
Yeah.
she's like 30. So I would say, is she up in the billions? She's not in the billions
No,
yet.
she's not in the billions.
Okay.
It's really hard for a singer to get in the billions. I don't know any singer. And she's like the top singer of them all. So if any singer was a billionaire,
I guess
it
I'm
would be
just thinking,
her.
like, because people said Kylie Jenner was a billionaire, and I'm like, some people say that was fudged. But, like, I would feel like Taylor Swift net worth would be more than Kylie Jenner's. But.
Okay. Well, according to Google, Taylor Swift's net worth is $400 million. So almost half of a billion. Wait, 500 million is half of a billion, right?
Yes.
I hope. Anyways, 400 million is her net worth. That is a lot. That's a lot. So I'm just saying, that's why her tickets are. I mean, her tickets are so expensive. I guess so her net worth can be higher.
Sometimes I feel
I don't
like though, once they get to that point, is it that they just are not? They don't care to be inclusive anymore, or like include everyone anymore because they're so high up here that they've forgotten where. I mean, I don't like to say forgotten where she came from because did she even come from? Where?
Yeah, we don't know where she came. But if you're talking about inclusion, like the stadium she performs in now is 10 times bigger than the one she used to. So now 10 times more people can go to her concerts than in the past. So technically she's including more people.
That have bigger wallets.
Hey, Denise said something. I think that she seems sweet and insecure and also has a buttload of money that separates her from the peasants.
Yeah.
That's a
From
good
the
point.
peasants.
Abigail says, people want to be understood, I think, and they have a hard time when someone doesn't agree with them. Are we talking about Taylor Swift?
No, cults. Cults.
Oh,
And
cults?
why people are enjoying these things, and that's why, I think that's what she's talking about, right?
Oh, I see. A hard
Yeah.
time when
Just to clarify, I don't hate Taylor Swift. I was just being the devil's advocate on everything.
Yeah. And I just was thinking about her because I've been seeing so many posts about her.
Yeah.
Hi,
And
all.
this is the
Happy
thing is I
Sunday.
can't even have an opinion. Like, I remember having opinions all the time on the Kardashians and da-da-da-da. I was always getting caught up in the drama, and I'm like, I don't even know these biatches. Like, I can't even have something to say about it. I can't sit here and get
That's a
mad
good
at
point.
order people who don't even know me, talking mad smack, knowing more about me than I do. Sometimes I like to listen because I'm like, wow, that's more interesting than my life. But I can't get mad at them for making up all this stuff and, like, getting all these details about my life when I was doing it. I don't even know the Kardashians.
Yeah.
But I'm sitting here, like, acting like I know. So, from what I've seen, Taylor Swift does seem like a nice person. But that's the thing is I don't know anyone personally who's become so powerful on their own really fast and who was able to not go corrupt. Sorry, that was the whole point of that conversation.
Hold on. Diana Diaz, she has a good point. She says, in Taylor's defense, that's not Taylor, that's the resellers. So we always think, oh, it's Taylor's concert, so she controls it all. But really, you know, there's probably a bunch of businessmen behind it. Right?
I'm giving my 2 cents to something I have no idea about. But I feel like that's the case in the beginning when she was first starting. But now that she's so big, she can run
do
her
whatever
own
she
thing
wants.
if she really
Oh, yeah.
wants to.
Maybe.
Unless she really is under contract with something, you know what I mean? I don't know. Because it's kind of
Hey,
like...
Flicker Fade's here. Welcome, Flicker Fade.
Hello.
That's a good point, though. Yeah. She is so big, she could do whatever she
Anything.
wants.
she could buy me if she wants.
She could buy all of America. be the new president. I'm just kidding.
Sometimes I wonder. Well, I don't know.
No,
Hey,
if you think about it though, we
here.
think that she's so rich, but then if you compare it to a business or a government, the government's trillions of dollars in debt.
In debt.
Yeah. So it's like she could have bought it if she wanted to. There's so many things that just when you look at the wealth of certain things and go to completely different levels, it can just be insane. It's crazy to see it all. But
Trillions, yeah. That's crazy. According to Google, Swift's net worth is $400 million, but she makes $150 million a year. So what is the spending a year? Huh. See, how do we... That's the thing is, I feel like the net worth is not a very accurate thing that Google gets.
yeah, it's not exactly super accurate, but I mean, I bet it's a good ballpark idea. You know?
I don't know.
But
can you Google you?
No, you have to be...
Someone.
Well, you can Google me and my videos will come up, but my net worth wouldn't even be worth.
Eskel Grant's net worth. It's negative a trillion.
Oh my gosh! See, it wouldn't show net. Honestly, I'm pretty sure my net worth would be probably $5,000. So it's would they Google? Wouldn't even put it in there. It's what are they gonna?
Wait, is net worth your entire lifespan?
No, what? No, net worth is in this
your
very
bank account?
moment. No. All of your debts, everything you owe.
Oh, right.
And all the money that you have. All of that leveled out exactly what you'd be at. So, if you're in debt more than the money you have, and the equity, though, and the items you have, then you could technically, your net worth could be a negative, I suppose. That'd be really bad. But if you, have a...
Anyone who owns a house is...
No.
Not necessarily bad.
No, think of it. Because think about it. You have a $100,000 house, and so you have a $100,000 debt. Your net worth would be zero. If you have a $100,000 house, you have $20,000 of it paid off. You have a $100,000 house and only $80,000 of debt. Your net worth is $20,000. Make sense? So your net worth is having all that in mind, what your level of finance would be at.
What about stocks?
Exactly. No, that would count too. You have $20,000 worth of stocks, but you have a loan for $10,000. Your net worth's only $10,000, not the 20, not the 10. It would get the balance of the two. You know what you would actually basically if you got rid of all your debt, sold all you had, and what you would have if you just got rid of everything, essentially.
So you're saying yours is 5,000?
Roughly, yeah. So I don't think Google would ever bother looking for that, right?
Could someone make that on the internet? Eskel's net worth is 5,000.
How does that get put on there?
I know.
Because it's not done by people. It's not Wikipedia. It's just anyone putting it on there. Google, though, has to do research to
but
put
yeah,
on
and
there,
it's
right?
how do they decide someone's worth putting out there? Because I remember when Escape Polygamy was out, I would get so mad because it would always, every time you still is like this to this day. I don't know how, but it is.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't show my name. Anytime you look it up, the cast of Escape Polygamy never shows my name.
What?
And it always made me, in the beginning, I would get so mad because I'm like, I do just as much work. I work just as hard.
Weird.
So it's how does Google decide that you're a person or not a person? And I'm still not a person in Google's eyes.
What the? What if, though, that's because of your name is so confusing? Because you go, I keep telling you got to change your YouTube account to Amanda Grant, because then people will be like, oh, Amanda Grant, Eskel Grant, oh, they're siblings. It makes sense. But now it's Eskel Grant, Amanda Ray. Well, what the frick is the connection there, you know?
So to help you, basically.
No, I'm just saying, if your legal name is Amanda Grant, why is your Instagram's going to be Amanda Grant, your YouTube's going to be Amanda Ray? What, you're going to make your TikTok be Amanda something else?
I like
what?
Amanda Ray. Do you know?
Sure, but my point is making them consistent. Because what if you're the one confusing Google? And Google's like, who the frick is this girl? You know?
Because remember how Calvin, we hung out with Calvin for a while, and he was obsessed with AI. Calvin, if you're here, hi.
What's up?
he was showing us AI, and we were down this rabbit hole, and he asks AI who he is, and it tells him. And I went home, and I was like, who's Amanda Ray? They're like, I don't know who the hell that is. I'm like, how do you know who Calvin is? I hate AI. Someone was saying, though, I was telling you this today. I don't know how true this
can
is.
Be scary.
There was this AI, artificial intelligent robot that it made so that you can't turn it off. Like, it doesn't want to be turned off. It's like aware of what being shut down is, and it made so that it made it harder for humans to shut it off. Have you heard this? Has anyone heard of this?
No, I've seen the
like
article
iRobot,
that talked
for
about
real.
that. But I see lots of stuff, though. Like, I love using Chat GPT, and the AI just comes up with all this stuff. It's very interesting, for sure. It's going to be a big thing one day, but it's a little bit scary.
It is scary. Sorry, I'm
This was
ranting.
fun, though. This was a huge rant. We didn't even get to my questions yet. Pearl Jam tried to do a tour around using Ticketmaster and ended up having to play in the fields and such and gave up. Ticketmaster. So he sold too many tickets, basically? That's crazy.
Or to do a tour around using Ticketmaster. So Ticketmaster sucked, I guess.
Wait, now he's saying Amanda's YouTube is Amanda Loves Rachel? Not confusing?
Yeah. If you go to my thing, it says Amanda Loves Rachel. But it didn't used to say that. I don't know why YouTube did that. It changed the name to...
Wait, your YouTube name got changed by YouTube?
No, it's Amanda Ray, but it's like this. How yours is Eskel Grant 2085.
Oh, yeah. They
Mine
just
is
gave me that for some reason.
Yeah.
Weird.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I wonder. Jane says, I'm 36 in May. I'm around 30,000 in debt. Yeah, but that's not your net worth, though, because you would take all of your assets. If you got a, $20,000 car, if you have a $100,000 house, stuff like that, and compare that next to the debt and level it all out. That's how you would determine your net worth. So debt's not always scary unless you have no money, no assets, and only debt. That's when it's really bad, for sure. Ticketmaster is a problem. Eskel, lots of public figures don't use their legal name. That's true. Yeah. There's a lot of people that use their,
You're saying
character
Lady Gaga,
name.
that's not her legal name. I heard that Katy Perry... Wait, is Katy Perry her real name?
Katy Perry? I thought it was. Is it not?
I actually don't think so. I was gonna I feel like I'm talking too much about random stuff. It doesn't matter.
It's
I'm
okay.
gonna calm
Someone's
down.
asking if we can interview Andrea. That would be cool. I've wanted to interview all of because right now I'm still finishing the Escaping Polygamy series, going through each episode and talking about it. By the end of it, I really want to start reaching out to all of those people and see how many people I could get a follow-up with now, what's currently happening after all of their experience.
I bet you Andrea would be down to...
Yeah.
She's the one that I haven't really had on my channel. Because I don't want to confuse people.
They always think you were her or she was you, huh?
Yeah. No, I feel like she just kind of, after the show, she just really got involved in being a lawyer and...
Yeah, and she moved far away, right? So that's kind of hard.
No, she was always living there when we were filming.
Oh, really? She had to fly in for every single thing?
She was always flying in from Washington, yeah.
Whoa. Dang, that's wild.
Have you read AI fiction? We are all going to die.
Oh, don't say that. Hey, look, they're saying Taylor Swift's dad was a financial advisor. Okay, Taylor Swift did a 44-song show, non-stop, dancers, choreo. Dang.
Okay, yeah, Katy Perry's real name's Katherine Hudson. I knew it. Jack and Phoenix's real name is Jack and Bottom. Really? Does Rachel live near Andrea? So yeah, Rachel and Andrea live in the same state. Yeah, I don't know how close they are to each other now, but they should hang out.
They have met up, right? I thought they did.
The time that I went out there, yeah.
Yeah, they all met up. That's cool.
And we all hung out and we had lunch. It was fun.
Yeah, it was really fun visiting her. We should go, me, you, and Cammie should all go visit sometime. Have a little get together.
I told Rachel I want to come visit her end of April. Well, because this time last year, it popped up on my phone. This time last year is when I went and surprised Rachel in Seattle. Remember?
Aw, yeah, you went and hunted down her? Yeah, that was
She's
so
like,
funny.
what the heck? But yeah, this time last year, it popped up on my phone that I was out there with her.
You know how crazy that is, though? Because she was in a completely new state, all by herself, used to not seeing anyone that she knew, right? And you don't even tell her. You fly all the way out there, go, hunting her down. She had
no idea. I was like, what are you doing now? Where you at? What park is it? She had no idea. And then,
that's funny.
Yeah, she cried a little bit when she saw me. But it was really fun. I would be happy if someone did that to me when I was living in Vegas. But
yeah.
I ran into one of Daniel's kids when I was living in Vegas once. It was at Smith's. And I was like in the line to get my stuff, and I looked over and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's one of Daniel's kids, but I didn't know if he was in the order or out or what to do. So I was like, but I also didn't want him to know because it was right by my house.
Oh.
I don't want him to know that I live right there. So I was like, and I just hurried and left. And then after a while, I was like, I'm pretty sure he's not in the order. So I messaged him and I was like, was you just at Smith? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, I saw you.
Now you look like the creepy one.
But part of me feels like it's weird. It's like I feel like I should tell them that because I would want to know if someone was like watching me from afar.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like that happens all the time where people see me and just run away because they're scared of me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had that happen to me at the gym a few times. I'll just be working out, doing my own thing, and I'll see people like walking by, and it's funny because they'll be walking by, but the whole time they're making eye contact with you.
But they won't say hi. They're just like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yep. Yep. They're just. It's like they don't know what to do with themselves. I just feel like I should just start chasing them. Let's see what happens. Just get off the stair climber.
Just start booking it. No.
They probably out of instinct would just run.
Just run away. Oh no!
Because, I mean, this sounds, maybe the outsiders are like, why would they run? But when that whole thing happened where, we were talking about this today, so it's fresh on my mind. When I called the police and that whole thing happened where I got attacked, I didn't realize that they were afraid of me for calling and reporting them. So when I went to just go say hi to someone at Standard Restaurant Supplies, I didn't know, and I was only 17. I was going to say hi, and they, inside their head, had got all the kids out, and anyone who was not supposed to be legally working and legal working age, they hurried and hid them in the back, because they were like, Manda's here, Manda Ray's here. But I had no idea that they were that afraid of me. I'm just over there trying to come say hi. So that's why I'm saying, it's funny, because maybe some of them, if I was like, they would. It's not funny. It's kind of funny, but it's not funny. It's just.
But what makes it funny though is it's all in their head. They think you were going to Standard to like, I don't know, call the police on them when you were just going there to see somebody, and they're all freaking out.
But like, and they all think I'm out to get them, and that's why it's funny. Like if I just got off the stair climbers and started chasing them, because in their brain I am out to get them because I'm trying to hurt the order in their eyes.
Because
but the reality is I'm just telling the truth, and they take that as me hurting the order. It's like. If the stories I'm telling and the truth that happened, and these are my true stories, if those are hurting you guys and hurting the order, maybe don't do those things. And I won't have to chase you off the stair climbers. I'm laughing too hard.
That's
that
funny.
story. Next time I see one of you, I'm going to get you. I'm going to chase you. I'm just kidding.
I would not do that.
It's just funny because they really do. They make eye contact with you, but they don't say anything. They just stare at you.
Yeah. That's a common thing for sure. Because I think a part of it, though, I think, is that they see you and they're like, we all kind of recognize each other. We all went to school together. We all went to the same Sunday school classes. So it's like we have that familiar face, but they're like trying to just figure out who I am, you know? I think for me, because I have a very common face, I think there's a lot of order members that people would mistake me for many times, even when I was in the order. So I think still to this day, they'll see me and they'll be like, who is that one? Like, I can tell what family he's from, but like, is he one of the bad ones, basically? Or whatever, you know? So
it is true. Maybe sometimes they really are just like, is that who I think it is? And it's their brain registering it. There's been times though where I know it's an order person based on their walk, and I know what family they're in. I don't know who they are, but like by the way they're walking and their mannerisms, I can pinpoint what family they're in. Have you ever been able to do that?
Oh yeah, because it's just like certain features. I feel like you can kind of tell. It's a lot harder for me now, but I remember back when I was in the order, it's like you see someone, you just kind of could know exactly what family they're in,
or you know who their dad is at least.
Yeah.
But and that's what comes with coming with a small
it's really
society.
weird too, because I think that's unique to us growing up in it, because there's so much, like, everyone's related to each other. There's so much of the same DNA that I feel like from an outside perspective, we probably all look like the same family.
Yeah, it is true. And this is something I didn't think was a thing until outsiders started saying it. They're like, why did the Kingstons all have such big eyes? But for me, I can't see it because I am just surrounded by that. But then when you leave and you have outsiders looking in, like, you guys all have this same character. And even Tessa saying, you guys all have big childbearing hips. But, like, to us, it's normal. Like, this is the norm for us.
And doesn't it seem like a lot of the order members in general are just short? I feel like Kingston DNA is short people. They're all
They're
short.
The men are balding and short. It's weird. I don't know. They just inbred the wrong genes. I don't know. But I do feel that way about like when I see FLDS too. Like I'm like, oh, they do have a similar look as well. Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people see us and see the similar look.
Yep.
But when you're in it, you're like, oh, they look way different over there, and they look different. But we're all related.
Yeah. That's wild. I guess you just notice the differences when you grew up in it or something. But I have Taylor Swift tickets for Philly. Problem is I have festival tickets for Sick New World the same day in Vegas. Sounds like a good problem to have, John. He's got
sounds like I could help take that problem off your hands.
Oh man. Alyssa says YouTube came up with a handle which helps find your YouTube channel as a short identifier. It's similar to Instagram if you're wondering why your channel has your name with random numbers. So it's how Instagram has your name and then your account thing, right? The @ thing. Yeah. So YouTube just created their own of that then.
So that you can
find it, I guess.
In case there's another Eskel grant, I guess.
Something like that, yeah. I suppose.
Hi, Gina.
Flicker Fate says, for anyone who doesn't know, just kidding equals I'm not kidding, so be afraid. Nice.
Just kidding, you guys. I'm just kidding.
It's all a joke. Wow, lots of comments. But okay, let's get to the questions and then we can come back to these comments, okay? Because I just want to share lots of good examples about perspective, because last time we had a really good discussion about how we view reality, what we would consider reality versus like dreams and stuff like that. So I want to talk first about like what makes you feel guilty and how you like kind of basically cope with your guilt. Because I've shared this example, I think I've shared it on one of these videos before, but I always think, when I think of guilt, I think of this time when I was just driving down the road, like I felt like there was nothing wrong, it was just a great little day to be driving, and I wasn't breaking any laws or anything whatsoever, but up ahead, I saw a little traffic cone just right off the side of the road, and I was just driving along, and I just, boom, run it right over. And
on purpose?
Yeah, on purpose. For some reason, I don't know why, but I hit the traffic cone, and like, I didn't think nothing of it. I was just like, oh, cool, I hit a traffic cone, it falls over, it's rolling or whatever, and I just going about my day. Well, I'm driving away, and then I look in the rearview mirror, and I'm like, frick, that traffic cone, some construction worker is going to have to go and do that, get that traffic cone, and be like, who the heck just ran over my traffic cone, giving me more work to do? And then I felt a sense of what I would call guilt, you know? And so, but it wasn't until I looked back that I considered, like, it all hit me, basically, you know?
I think, yeah.
And I feel like a lot of the times in life, we oftentimes don't really think that much about necessarily what is causing the guilt and, like, where it comes from. But it's inevitable. I think there's going to be things in everybody's life that that will cause guilt depending on what viewpoint you see it from. And I think there's lots of different perspectives that you can look at it. But like that, I'm pretty confident that if I would have never looked in that rearview mirror, I would have never felt guilt for that instance of hitting the traffic cone, right? But because I looked in the rearview mirror, saw the cone tipped over, thought about the construction worker having to pick it up, the extra work, then it created a sense of guilt that I felt, you know? And I was just thinking about that, and I was just like, there's lots of different, you know, there's tons of other examples I can share. I feel like I'm not perfect. I make mistakes a lot, but this is just one example where I noticed that if I wasn't paying attention, I may have not even noticed, you know, like that I did something that I would have considered like guilty, but only if I would have thought about it.
Is it basically good to have guilt in general, or what's your question?
I mean, I guess I would say it's good to have guilt.
What's your question?
Well, my question is, like, do you have examples like that? Do you ever have things that really make you actually think about, like, how you have to sometimes look from different perspectives to realize that, like that guilt can be a good thing. That sometimes you might want to look at the things that you're doing and look at it from other perspectives. Not necessarily like, oh, you should be guilty or whatever, you know. But it's like, when you look at things from different perspectives, I think it can help you to either more confidently know that, like, okay, this isn't something I should be guilty for, versus, okay, maybe I could have done something better in that situation.
I think well, watching you grow, I feel like when you were younger, you probably wouldn't have, all of us in general, when you're younger, you don't have as much of that's just not a muscle you use as much. When you're a kid, you have to, this is a question I think a lot of people because it's like, are you born with that knowledge? No, not really. Are you born with the whole treat others how you want to be treated?
Oh, yeah, that's a good
I don't
point.
know. But I feel like with growth and when you're growing and when you're establishing relationships with other people, you have to use that muscle. Otherwise, you're going to end up burning bridges. You're going to end up in with people, either in relationships with people who also don't care about you, and then you're not going to like how they treat you. So why would you want to be around them? But then I think that's a really loaded question, too, because it's like the fact that you felt guilt was because putting yourself in someone else's shoes that has to do the work that you just made them have to do.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people who don't have that guilt at all, and are those kinds of people the ones that you want in your life? Someone who's not willing to put themselves in anyone else's shoes. Why would you want to be in their life if they're not willing to put themselves in your shoes? They're gonna hurt you and not know why you're crying.
Yeah, I love that you brought up kids though, because it's basically saying sympathy, right? Being able to like put yourself in someone else's shoes and be able to feel that sense of whatever they would be going through, like sympathy. But I guess I can't say for sure, but I'm pretty sure like kids may be born with it, or they can learn it, I guess, as they're being a kid and stuff.
I think it has a lot to do with parents. Sorry, I have a train of thought that I don't want to lose.
No,
when I was a daycare provider, there was one kid that was so considerate of other kids, and he was so, like, he would share and he would communicate with the kids, and he was so smart. And then there was another kid that would bite kids, and she was mean. And I was like, what is it? Is it just that this kid was born this way? But they were only 3 years old. And I learned that when I met his parents, they communicated to him, they explained things to him, they were there with him, and they spent a lot of time with him. The other one, the mom was like divorced, and she was like had like 2 jobs, was like running around, didn't have time to really care for this kid. The kid was bouncing around.
Interesting.
So it's kind of like I think it is taught, and it's like when you are in a frustrating environment, you don't, in survival mode kind of, I'm not saying that she was in survival mode, but when you don't have that healthy, safe space to learn these things, you're going to resort to survival mode. And guess who's most important in survival mode? You, because you got to survive. But when you can actually have room, when you're safe, you can have compassion for other people, you can care about other people. But then it's like, there's people like Paul, who he's not in survival mode, he's on top of the world, but he doesn't care about like putting himself in anyone else's shoes. He cares about getting up to the top and cares about his little circle, right?
Yeah.
So
his little pyramid.
So I think I could go on and on and on and on about this, but I do think it goes down to how you're raised, and then I think guilt is something that you should, where it's inevitable for us all to feel, and it helps us to understand ourselves more, because we're having guilt for others, we're having guilt for how we want, if we would like that to be happening to us. It's self-awareness.
Yeah, I love that. No, I think that's a really good example. So now I want to hear your response to this one, because this is about kids as well. I think kids can be a very sensitive subject, but it's also like there's such a variety of ways that kids are being raised, and you know, every parenting style is different. It's hard to like necessarily know what's the best. But I love this example, because if you saw a bruise on a kid's face, let's say they're like 6-7 years old, is that on the parents? Is that like the parents' fault if the kid has a bruise on them?
No.
No.
Okay. Because there's so many things that can happen that had that kid get a bruise. Could have been other kid that hit the kid.
Yeah.
The kid could have fell. Why?
Okay, because then this is the two perspectives I'm talking about. Because then you got to keep in consideration that if that the parent maybe isn't watching the kid or taking care of the kid, and that's what caused them to be able to get that bruise, then would that be considered the parent's fault? Or even take it further, if the parent is beating the kid and that caused the bruise on the kid, you know, then obviously it is, right? That's the whole point. I'm just saying that there's different perspectives that would change that whole viewpoint, right? And the whole reason why I thought of this is because I saw someone was talking to their friend, and the kid had a big old bruise on their face, and the person that was looking at the kid and saw the parent with them was like concerned and worried for the kid. And then though she was like talking with the kid and like getting really concerned, then she saw the kid take the sucker out of their mouth and like slap it on their cheek and let it sit there right where the bruise was. And then she's like, okay, like her whole idea changed of the situation. And I just thought that's I don't know, that was just a really funny way to see how, you know, kids are funny, you know, and it's just like you want it's tough because it's very sensitive, because kids you like want to protect them, you know, and they don't have full control over their lives as kids. They depend on their parents, legal guardians, people around them. But then kids will happily go and scrape their knee and not even give a crap, you know? It's
This is bringing a concept, though, in my brain now that you're making me think of, like, oh, because I'm thinking of that kid that was so like, aware of other kids' needs because he was taught in this environment, and this other kid just, every man for themselves, biting people to get what they want. And then there's also, had this conversation with someone just the other day that said that the oldest kid in the family always got everything because it was the oldest kid, and so they took that into their adult life. It almost makes me wonder, like, is empathy, because I talk about this so much on my Patreon, I feel like the culture crew is like, boring, but I just want to figure out, is empathy and self-awareness something that really has to be taught and ingrained as a child? Otherwise, it's like that whole can't teach an old dog new tricks. You just don't know. You don't have that muscle to use. So you kind of become, so not sociopath, but like narcissistic, or like you just don't care about other people.
What if, though, because I would never draw a defined line of can and can't be done. But what if it's more like how learning a language, when between the ages of 2 and like 6, you can learn multiple languages like 10 times easier than when you're older than that. Yeah. And so maybe empathy can be implemented in someone's lives much better if it was implemented as a child. But I still would always want to believe that no matter how old you are, you should never just step back and be like, it's too late for me. I'm an old little fart. Like, I can't do anything, right?
Yeah.
But you should always be able to think that you can. Even though maybe younger, if it's implemented younger, you can learn it better. Like, it's easier to like fully embrace it and like have it a part of your life. Yeah. But you can always learn, I think, to be empathetic. Yeah. I would hope.
And there's just so many ways to mess up your kid. I'm just thinking about, like, giving them everything, not giving them anything. Like, there's no perfect balance. And the perception is everything. Because we talk about the story where there's these two kids that came from the same abusive family. One became very successful and, like, grew from the trauma, and the other one became an alcoholic. Perspective.
And they both blamed their grown up environment, or the place that they grew up, for where they were at. So
it's so fascinating to me. I don't know if I'll ever get all the answers, but I'm still gonna try.
It's fun to talk about, though, just because I like to hear people's perspective, especially because, like, well, I guess I don't know if we want to dive in this, but you talk about how, like, it's almost too easy for people to just have kids nowadays, and it's like there's a lot that goes into it.
If there's ever a bill that says, do you vote on that we should have to take classes before having kids? I would vote yes. You should have to take classes to be able to raise a baby. Like, why is it that you can just have a baby? Especially after seeing the, like, mortality rate of the kids in the order, because kids are raising kids and they don't know how to keep them alive. Then wait, yes.
The mortality rate's really low in the order?
The mortality rate's high. What do you mean?
Oh, high. What does that mean? So they're dying fast?
They die faster than on average in the world. Because, I mean, you remember all the stories of the time, oh, yeah, Brady got run over by the, got run over by the car. Yeah, that was a real thing that happened. They got ran over, and he survived, but there was multiple times where babies got run over and they didn't survive. Yeah. And other things, simple things that could have been prevented. So, it's like, I 100%, sorry, we're diving deep on this. If there was a law that said, and I'm not saying the law should be like, oh, you can only have one kid per family. It shouldn't be like that, but it should be, if I was president, you should take a course on how to take care of a kid.
I see your point, but I feel like that scares me, because that sounds very much like controlling China and being like only one kid, you know? Isn't that leaning towards that direction? And control?
So I guess let the parents ruin the kid's life?
Well, that sucks too. Both of them suck, yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Where we're at now, and from the experience I've had in my life, I just feel like it's not working. We need to do something. And I think the baby step would be, at least, I mean, we're required to go to school, right? We're required
as kids, you mean?
Yeah, you can't just have a kid and not have them go to school.
That's true, yeah.
So why not have in the schooling, because this kid has a potential of bringing another human being into the world.
But then, see, I would change that then. Why not just have some of the requirements in public schools be to learn about, like, how to properly raise a family, or like implement things that everyone should know, you know, like have classes about empathy or something. Like,
yeah, that's
because
true.
I think that would be better. Because I'm all for classes for being a parent, 100%. I just am scared when anything is you have to. Now you can't have a kid unless you take these classes. To me, I'm like, that's scary. Like, that seems very forceful. But classes are good. I agree on that 100%. I
Yeah.
think that'd be great.
I just had a train of thought with this, actually. Yes, classes is good. Dang it. I just lost my train of
We're
thought because I was
getting
reading
lots
one
of
of your guys'
comments on
comments.
this. Yeah, this is wild. Oh, I'm even going to go back a little bit because Flicker Fate says, if you see the consequences of your actions, they become real to you. If you don't see them, they may not occur to you. Or if they do, they feel less impactful. Yeah, that's a really good point.
And I agree with what Val is saying, too. Like, it's not... I know that if that were something that was implemented, like you have to take a class before having a kid, people would jump to that thing like, oh, now we're just being controlled by the government. But it's like, the reality is, like, I don't know, I've only been in Utah for a certain amount of time, and I've met a few people already that talked about how their sibling committed, warning,
Ended
I'm going to
their
talk
life.
about, yeah.
Right.
And
Dang.
I think it's a higher rate here in Utah that kids do, and I think it has a lot to do. Well, it is a higher rate actually.
Dang.
We for a while were on the top 10 in the 50 states
No
of
way.
child, yeah.
Wow.
And I think that a big thing is the forced religion
is
down the
crazy.
kids' throats, basically, and then
See, there's that force again. You force people to do stuff.
yeah, but then it's also
Don't force
when
people.
Utah's such a family state, right? But it's like
They have
people having
lots of
so
kids,
many
huh?
kids that they can't even take care of, and they don't know how to really, like, they're just trying to keep them alive. They don't even care about the psyche of the kid, you know?
Wow, that's
But
a really good point.
I
never
talk
thought of that.
so much about this because I feel like it hits a core for me. Well, for both of us, we came from these huge families where it wasn't like our parents were like, "How are you today?" It's like, "Why aren't you
If they
doing
ever
what I said?"
asked you questions, something was wrong.
Yeah, the second your dad is sitting there waiting to talk to you, you know you did something wrong. It's not like they cared about you as a person. So I'm like, and like I say this joke a lot, but it's kind of not a joke when mom would be like, well, if it weren't for polygamy, you wouldn't be here. Like, that's fine. Like, I didn't like what I grew up in. And then, like, it sounds like I'm like this bratty kid. But the reality is, like, that was such a dysfunctional way to grow up. And I'm still having to unravel it. So thank you. But I like the idea of how you were saying, like, when do we, like, the bruise on the kid, it made me think of another perspective, like, how much does the parent have to take the fault for? And how much is the kid?
Yeah.
You know?
Because also, this is what's weird. This is because, like, I mean, I say it's the reality, but, I mean, it all depends on your perspective. But to me, it seems like the reality of it is, most of the times, if kids didn't have decent parents, at least, they would get them end their own lives, you know? They really would. There is multiple times, and Abigail knows this, I don't know, like, I've watched her kids, right? And I've, like, taken them swimming and stuff. And if I, like, am distracted for a little bit, they'll jump in the swimming pool when they don't know how to swim. And I'll need to, like...
And they know they don't know how to swim.
And if I would have been too distracted for too long, that could have been a very dangerous situation, you know? And
that was why I was so scared when I was moving in Vegas. And me and Priscilla were moving in this house that had a pool. And I know... Because these kids don't have that concept of...
Yeah.
And that's the hard thing with raising kids is... You think on the level that you're on and you forget the level that they're on. But you have to be on their level with them because they don't understand. Like the same thing, I'm going to go back to the daycare. This kid, it was the smart kid, the kid that like was aware he had stolen something and lied about it. And I was like, why are you lying? Can you tell me why you did this? And he's trying to understand it. And then I was like, can you say, Amanda, I'm not going to lie anymore? And he was like, okay, Amanda, I'm not going to lie anymore. But Amanda, what is a lie? And I was like, wow, I'm just talking to this kid like he has no idea what I'm saying. It's a good thing I don't have kids, but eventually, like if I ever had a kid, I would want to be able to understand.
To have kids one day.
You have to understand.
And I accept
so
the
much.
fact though, because like, I want to be the best parent I can be, but I accept the fact that kid's gonna scrape his knee, that kid's gonna get hurt. I can't wrap him in bubble wrap his whole life because I wouldn't want to wrap a kid in bubble wrap his whole life. You know, I want them to have basically. To be able to practice dangerous things like carefully, basically, you know? I know that sounds weird, but like I want them to be able to like cultivate their own creativity, try things that might get them hurt, but at least have the proper ways to come back from it, to like actually, I don't know, not get themselves killed, but be able to do it, like learn new things and try new things and get hurt a little bit, but not
the opposite
go so
of what
extreme.
Dad says. Dad basically is like, I want them so far away from the cliff that they would never even get close to jumping off the cliff. But then it's like, then you're basically admitting you don't trust your kid by that cliff.
Exactly. And so like I said this term exactly is you would rather drag your kids to heaven than let them like live their life and learn to want to even go to heaven.
Yeah.
And he says, absolutely. It's like, that is not even their choice. You're
then
literally just forcing them.
How are you getting a ticket to heaven if someone's forcing you to go do all of the blessings and things? It's kind of like The Good Place. Have you guys seen The Good Place where they're like, once they know that they're getting
Spoiler
the blessing. Oh yeah, sorry. Once they know and they understand, if I do this good deed, then it gives me more points so I can get into the good place. Then it doesn't work anymore because they're doing it for the wrong reasons.
Mm-hmm. So. And everyone knows that concept. If you go and like help someone out only because you know that they're going to pay you or you know you'll get something out of it, then it's not nearly as meaningful as when someone goes to help them because they truly care about that person, or even the idea of a gift. If you go and give someone a gift because you want them to give you a gift or just for an exchange, then it's not as meaningful that when you get someone a gift because you truly care about them, you know?
Right.
I feel like everyone understands that.
But that now, okay, I wasn't going to bring this up, but now that you're on this topic, the whole like empathy and an emotional awareness and wanting to help other people, you could even take it a step further and be like, your empathy could be selfish because you don't want to see them in pain because of what it will do to you. So is it selfish?
That's a really good point.
Yeah. Or people that are like,
my gosh,
begging you
my brain's
my brain hurts. So it's like, we're all selfish.
That's a really good point, though. Wow. Dang.
I've thought about this, like, am I just sitting here living my life really for me? Like, am I just a selfish person because
But remember, self-help, a lot of people will see it as being selfish when you take care of yourself, but really, how are you going to be able to help other people if you yourself...
Yeah.
So it's like, selfish is usually talked about with a negative connotation, but a lot of the times being selfish can actually be a good thing.
Yeah.
Too many people just automatically associate it with
There's
being bad.
There's a difference with
when it's
the
not
selfish
bad.
where, you're taking care of yourself like you were saying, or the selfish where I'm stepping on you so that I can get higher. That's a different thing. Yeah. Using people.
Wow, that's like a mind-blown moment when you shared about that empathy, though, because it's like, you really could. You have to really dive deep into why you're doing what you're doing. Because, I bet people could do it just for themselves.
I get so deep in my own head sometimes that I just want to turn it off.
Isn't that fascinating, though? I love moments like that. Like, there's been countless times with you particularly, Amanda, where I am so set on one opinion and one idea, and you share with me a new perspective, and I'm like, oh my God. like my whole mind changed. My whole opinion changed. Like, I completely 180'd on that topic, and it's like.
But I think that shows that
ever.
you are grown because you're not going to be set in your ways, because you're open to other perspective. Because just like what we were talking about today, the less you know, the more you think you know, the more you know, the less you think you know. If you think you know everything, you actually don't know anything. And that's like psychology. That's like simple psychology. If you think you're at the peak of your existence or whatever you want to call it, then you really should rethink and reevaluate. Yeah. You should be open to being wrong or to discovering new perspectives on things because there's so many, I don't know. Yeah. So that's good. That's good on you.
I hope so. but that makes sense though, because it's constant progression, you know? It's like when you're learning new things, that should cause you to better understand a situation so that you would, just like that, know more questions to even ask about that topic or idea, you know? It's like once you're learning more things, then you'll be able to know how to cultivate the correct question and how to even learn more about that specific topic. If you don't know anything about that topic, you don't even know what questions to ask. You don't even know what to start researching or learning about, you know?
It's kind of like what really Calvin was saying. We just talked to him. That's why I'm like thinking about the conversations we had. But how he was saying, it doesn't heaven seem boring, but I was like, but eternal progression doesn't seem boring, like constantly, because once you learn this, then you're going to have no more knowledge, and then you're going to need to learn more, and then he was like, well, that even sounds boring. At some point, don't you feel like you'd get bored of learning? But I feel like I haven't so far, but there are times where I want to turn it off, and I'm like, just let me be stupid.
It can be overwhelming for sure, especially when you have just those mind-blowing moments when you're like, a lot of the times when you learn something or like hit a really big milestone, then your own insignificance comes with that, because you're like, wow, the world is so big, the universe is so big, there are so many people, and I'm just one person. Like,
but I'm the apple of my own world. But I mean nothing to most of the world.
Yeah. It's so crazy when you put it in perspective.
I do like what Flickerfade said. He said, a certain amount of selfishness is necessary to survive and thrive, which I agree, for sure. That is one thing I truly do love about being Jewish. We are taught to do good deeds, not to get into heaven, but because it's simply a good deed. I like that, and I also like the idea of... I mean, I do like, whatever, is it good or bad if, I don't know, if there's motives behind someone's good deed, yes, essentially that's not good, like you should want to be good just to be good, but also, is it impacting the world the same way, you know? Like when someone's donating to this charity because they're a good person and they just love and support the cause versus someone who's donating the same amount or more just because it's a tax write-off. It still is benefiting.
It still is helping the organization, huh?
But I think it's better to do a good deed because you're a good person.
Well, it just depends on the way you're looking at it, because I don't think it helps the organization you're donating to anymore. I think it helps the same, but I think to the person donating internally, I bet psychologically it would be better when someone is doing it out of the kindness of their heart versus, oh, I just need this tax write-off. Because then that person's just getting a tax write-off. He's not getting any type of, like, self-fulfillment from it. He's not getting any type of like good deed feeling from it, or like, you know, he's just getting a tax write-off. And so I personally feel like when there's meaning behind what you do, then it's going to be healthier for you. It's going to help you feel more fulfilled, or just help you just, you know, be more excited about life, be more excited about that organization you're donating to, you know, find more joy in life. That's how I kind of internalize things like that anyways. But
that's true.
But I don't know. But then, now I'm thinking about it, you can take it too far. If you're only donating to get that fix of like, oh, I'm helping somebody.
Then are you selfish?
If you're only doing it to feel good about it, maybe that's selfish. Yeah.
Dylan's here. Hi, Dylan.
Oh, what's up, Dylan?
We have another order member in here. I actually remember this kid in Ensign.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of relatives.
A lot of people joining to say hi.
You have 122 people here. What's your average?
My average is anywhere between 50 and 100, so we're above.
Wow,
that's doing really good. That's
Everybody
awesome.
like and subscribe. Do you have memberships on here?
No, not yet. But Amanda does. You can join her membership. Was it hard to set up the whole membership thing?
For me, mentally, yes, because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
I felt like.
Well, can you explain it to me? Because, like, what is it? How does the membership thing work?
For me, it shows next to their name, and you guys will see when I go live after this, when you come on my channel, you'll see in the chat, everyone's names or who are members is green, and then if they've been a member for a month, it shows, or a month or less, it shows a cup, like a CCC cup next to their name. But now that it's been 2 months for some of my members, it says "Oh Daddy" next to their name. So it's kind of like you go up in a video game type of thing, and then they have access to
special emojis, right?
And I'm gonna try. I can't promise, but I'm gonna try to do an exclusive members only video that they get to have access to once a month.
Okay. Oh, so it will be a little bit like Patreon, but on YouTube then. So it's just easier to get to it and stuff. Interesting. Okay.
And like there's posts that you can post just to the members as well.
Nice.
But that's the thing is, at first I was like, I don't even know if I want to do this because it already feels like Patreon. But Patreon doesn't have the emojis and the little thing next to the name. That's kind of cool.
That's true. Yeah. Huh? And Patreon, what I don't like about Patreon is I feel like it's extra steps because I already know how to upload to YouTube, know how to use YouTube. Everyone's got a YouTube like account and stuff, but then they have to go create a whole separate Patreon account and different stuff. I like the idea of the memberships, just combining it kind of, the YouTube thing, you know?
Yeah.
Just having it together somewhat, but I don't know. It's interesting. Denise says, I do help one friend in particular to relieve my pain from her constant wallowing in sadness posts on Facebook. So, yep, empathy, selfishness. Yeah,
I do have
it's
one friend in
interesting.
particular to relieve my pain from constant anxiety. Oh. Empathy, selfishness. That's the thing is it's like I would rather my selfish act to go help someone else out to feel better about myself rather than my selfish act being to kick someone because I will feel better because now they're crying instead of me. That's a poor example, but like people do that. People would rather poke at someone else for their insecurities and it makes them feel better about their. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah.
And they don't even realize they're doing it, but they're mean to people about something specific about them because they're insecure about it. So it makes them feel better to have someone else.
And I think to an extent that makes sense because if you're insecure about something, you're going to constantly be thinking about it and then notice it in other people, and then you'll be able to point it out because you're already paying attention to that. So
it's like karma really is kind of real. Like the way you are negatively affecting other people, you are also doing that to yourself. Like, and I like to believe Paul's not very happy doing everything that he's doing. Like, yeah, he gets everything handed to him. Literally, he gets properties, he gets all these things going towards him that his followers are giving him. But I can't imagine his life being great. It probably feels like he can't escape the own cult that he created.
Yeah, because can you imagine if he's ever feeling overwhelmed or wanted to just not be this prophet figure anymore? He couldn't. His own members were like, Warren Jeffs tried this. Warren Jeffs was like, sorry guys, I'm not the prophet. Like, this is a mistake. And his own members were like, yes, you are. Like, stop lying to yourself.
Yeah, and I feel like that would happen with Paul. They'd be like, this is a test and we're going to pass.
Yeah.
The only way is if he goes and runs away and like goes and lives his life far, far away from here.
I guess, yeah. That's crazy. But you think that's why he's got places out in India?
Well, he's got, it's not a secret. He's always had places to go hide in because...
of legal situations.
Well, and they've gone in hiding before. I guess, can I say his name? He's gone on our Patreon. His first name? But he talked about how their family had to go into hiding because they were the family that Paul was related to, the wife, so closely. Oh. So Paul definitely has multiple places that he can go just make sure that he has a place to go hide in. And he has had wives go in hiding. Wow. Like sisters that he was married to and things like that. So I sometimes wonder if it's in the back of his brain. I'm sure it is because they're all paranoid. LaDonna's boys are all paranoid. They have, I don't know if it's like a genetic thing or if it really is just because they're the line that they're in of power and that there's been a lot of eyes on them. But I think that all of the brothers have places to go run to because of I think it started with polygamy being against the law, and then they were doing so many other things against the law, and then now it's just but I think it's in the back of Paul's mind. Sorry, going back to that. I think it is in the back there that I could just run away to one of these spots and no one would ever find me. And not even my own family. I could run away from my own family too. Yeah,
can you
imagine 27 wives? Yeah. And then over 300 kids and like being pulled all directions. But it's not like he does a good job of it. Like he's not a present father figure in all 300 kids, right? But in their lives, but I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know.
Dang. But perspective matters, you guys. I feel like it's changed my mind on so many things, and it's just helped me to understand a lot. And I think basically, like, we've gone over an hour, so I think we're going to be wrapping it up here. But
I gotta go.
A lot of great comments. Oh yeah, Amanda will be going live right after this, so definitely go on over to her channel.
I don't have a whole lot planned for my live, so we're probably going to be answering a lot of questions. So if you didn't feel like your question was answered on here, then go to my live after this, and I think I'm just going to be listening to your guys' opinions on things. There's a few things I want perspective on. I love hearing your guys' perspective because just like what Eskel was saying, like there's certain things that I have said that has made you completely change your perspective. You guys have done that for me, and it's been so... And maybe I'm selfish because it helps me grow and I like it. So am I using you? I feel like we benefit each other. I would hope that you guys get the same out of this relationship.
Yeah, and I wanted to say thanks for Abigail because Abigail was on my last live and she was really appreciative to be able to share. She did a little more so on the Patreon video that we did, and a lot of you guys commented on there though, so she really appreciated it on both, that she was able to just kind of vent a little bit and just share lots of stuff with you guys, and you guys all shared great like perspectives and like just helped her to better understand what she was going through, and she just said that she really appreciated that. So I want to thank you all for that, and I appreciate you guys too. I think this is always super fun. I am amazed every single week when the number keeps going up. 58 weeks of going live, and like
Every
it doesn't
single
even
Sunday.
feel like I have to do a lot of work for it, you know, like I'm excited to like plan them out and get ready for the next one and see what you guys are going to say in the comments next, and just all sorts of stuff. It's really fun. I appreciate it a lot, and so this has been awesome. I'm excited.
Someone said, "Is Abigail's family polygamous?"
No.
Well, if you count her aunt, who's our mom, then yes.
Her aunt. Oh yeah, so she's our cousin, so that's how she knows about the whole polygamy thing. That's how we're related to her. She went and visited the order. She went to the order dance. I think she went to an order Sunday service too, and she went to one of the order dances. And so she is an outsider, grown up as an outsider her whole life, but she kind of got to get a little peek inside because she was our cousin, and maybe because she was like a pretty girl or something, so they just let her come to the functions.
Well, yeah,
When a lot of the times it's hard for people to go to order dances.
I
and order
honestly
stuff,
feel
you know?
like, well, probably it is harder now because they have those fences up, those gates up that they close. But back when we was growing up, if you're a girl, then they'll take you. They need girls there.
Yeah, they're desperate, man. It's crazy.
Sometimes I wonder if they'd take me back. Not that I would want to, but they're like, oh, we're desperate enough.
Getting desperate.
I bet you if I was pregnant with a white girl, then they would want to try to get that girl. They probably wouldn't want me so much, but...
It's funny where their motives are, but it's not hard to tell. On most of their things, then you can tell that they are after the money, that they're a business. There's specific things that they want out of it, and it's just sad to see, but...
But we're here talking about it. Hopefully something happens.
Yeah.
But we're going to continue talking about it on my channel if you guys are ready.
Sweet. Yeah. Head over to her channel. We'll see you guys shortly. Thanks for watching. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.